Hey, John here again. I'm in Roscrea in County Tipperary, and I'm in between two HSE properties, and I'm going up a back lane from one. This is part of the former workhouse grounds in for Roscrea, and this lane leads up to the burial ground. I keep pressing the emergency button on my screen, so I don't know what happened there. So this long boring takes us up to the workhouse burial ground. I've passed here for years up on the main road. Roscrea would be central nationally, so you'd come up that road if you could be going west, or you could be going to the Midlands. And I've passed so many times, and I had a suspicion that the burial ground was around here, but I never looked into it, whereas looking into it now, I'm not even sure this is right in terms of this top gate. Is the burial ground. That's a field, so maybe we'll have an entrance into the burial ground here. Okay, we'll try this. Hopefully it's bringing us into the actual burial ground. There's cattle here, so I'd say it's a farmer comes up here more than anything. Put on the handle. It's raining again. It's raining still. It was raining this morning when I was in Ballinasloe, and now it's raining here. There's a gap in the ditch there that might go in somewhere. I might have this all wrong now. Yeah. I suppose I can come back and go in that gate. It feels I'm on the outer boundary here. I expect there to be a gate, unless they were getting access from within the workhouse estate. Yeah. I'll go up and have a look just in case there's something here, but I think that's wrong. That's a field. Alright, so this is one of those country lanes where fellas take their dogs for a walk or go hunting. What's growing overhead? Kind of a sycamore, hawthorn, ash, some kind of puffball fungal growth. Hopefully that gap will bring us in there. Maybe the entrance was from within. How are you doing that? I wonder what's going on. It's not used a huge amount, but it is used. Okay, convolvulus, this ground cover, spreading all over the place. Here in the ditch as well. Sycamore after growing. Another sycamore. And now we're into an undulating ground cover. I am fairly sure that this is the... Oh wait, look. Am I wrong? And what I'm looking at is the two fastigiatas there. go over here and see what's in this field. Oh, there's a fastigiata in this corner. So, yeah, they're marking our boundaries. They are corners. This is one of those field entrances. Okay, adjacent field, housing estates. So I think that was the workhouse property out there. They're all gone now. There's still health services provided, so that has continued on a smaller scale. Roscrea Workhouse was built here, out here, about a mile outside the town. I was surprised when I heard it was a mile. It kind of felt longer. Okay, this is very overgrown now. Can't see thing. Can't see a thing. A line of sycamores, which makes them look like they were planted. Fastigiata U there. Agus Cianella, agus Gawkin and Shin. Oh, there's a cross of sorts. And a hawthorn. This is like a ditch here. Alright, there's the old entrance. So if the workhouse was in there, there's the gate piers for coming in, and there's some class of oh, it's a broken Celtic Revival cross. The die, the base, the die, the shaft, the broken ring and cross. Can't see anything carved in that. And here behind us then a pair of U's. Sometimes you come into burial grounds like this where the grass has taken over. It's like the dominance of a particular species. The target is to kind of break the holes that the grass has on it. Semi-wild is okay if there's a bit of biodiversity in it and if you can visit. Okay, there's a whole rake of fastigiatas here now. Why are they all in this corner? It's like a pointy field. Okay. The Roscrea Workhouse opened in 1839. That means she was fully in use for when the Gortamore Great Famine kicked in. I can't tell from the maps though if this burial ground was open during the famine. I think I made that point earlier. We can't take that for granted. You actually have to establish that with research, and this is just a reconnaissance before I get into that kind of research proper. It was long enough. Like she's going from down there to over there. Bigger than that one we saw in Meath. Is it? Smaller than the Carlow ones. Perhaps about the same. We're in County Tipperary now, north riding. So, and recently I went into Cashel Famine Burial Ground and the workhouse. The workhouse and asylum burial ground in Clonmel. When I saw this low bit here first, I thought she might be potentially a trench grave, but because that's the entrance there, I think that's a pathway in. So the pathway in, then I can't see how the graves might be organised. The grass is just dominating. The reason I got interested in this Roscrea graveyard is that I'm a Tierney, and the branch of Tierneys I'm from were North Tipperary, which is where we are now. My father was a Templemore man, and Templemore is just down the road. And my great grandmother died here in 1916, wherever the workhouse was here. The workhouse then was kind of public health service, and my great grandmother, Bridget Stapleton, was married to John Maher. He was serving in the Western Front in that summer 1916, Battle of the Somme. And Bridget died, she died about 3 weeks, she died late June 1916, about 3 weeks before her husband died in the Battle of the Somme. I'm not even sure if he knew that she had died of TB. Now, we found this out ourselves doing family history during the first lockdown last year. Finally we had the time to sit down and try and go through the records for Roscrea Workhouse, and found poor old Bridget's date of death. Now, they left behind a full family, one of whom was my grandmother. And when I heard she died here in the workhouse, I thought maybe she was buried here in the workhouse burial ground. But when I said it to my dad and my first cousin, Robert Stapleton, he said, no, fairly sure that Bridget died. She was buried in family grave in Killavanogue graveyard, which isn't that far from here. And that's the thing. That's the difference between claimed and unclaimed people. If your family claimed you, they buried you in the family plot at home. That was during the famine. It was before the Great Famine. It was during the Great Famine and afterwards. If you died in hospital, if you died in the workhouse hospital, the chances were your family would claim you, unless they were absolutely stony broke. I guess at the time, if John was earning money in the British Army, the family had money. There's a bank here, there's some kind of break a slope. So the family had cash, so they were able to afford to bury Bridget. So while she may not be buried here, there's a lot of others are. So we've seen this kind of environment before, we just haven't seen. I think this is maybe our first one where it's gone a little bit overgrown. Probably needs a contractor to come in and cut her, and then we'll get down and see what kind of shape the ground is. I'm walking down here now. I'm wondering, like, did they get overwhelmed? Did we get a trench grave? I can't tell. So, what did we come in? The Villa Marie or the Villa Mary nursing home. You come up the Boreen alongside of that. I'm parked outside. And this is it. Where last Friday was it, over in, where was I, in Kilkenny? Callan. And there was a lot of presence on the site in memorialisation between the Heritage Group and another group. There is here, less so. Alright, so Roscrea Workhouse, North County Tipperary. This is the burial ground. Note the presence of the Festigiata U's. Those lads, I think they were giving me comfort that, yeah, I'm in the right place. Okay, I'll say goodbye. Our great grandmother